Yeah. Hello everyone. I would like to welcome you all today for today's webinar, which is Keep Your Data Clean, SAP Master Data Governance Consolidation of Active Records. So during the course of presentation, if you have any questions, please type in the message box, and I will answer your questions in the Q&A session after I complete all my slides. Okay, so let's begin now. So I am your presenter for today. My name is Bharat Tambat and I specialize in master data governance and consolidation area. So agenda for today. We will see what is the consolidation of active records. So what exactly the consolidation of active record means? What is the process flow? So in the process flow, we will see each and every step of how you start the consolidation process and what are the steps in the consolidation process. We will see all the steps in details. We will also look into the scenario, and in the scenario, I will explain you the consolidation process of how you will consolidate all your active records. Okay. So before we begin, let's look who are our target audience. So the target audience uh, for our processes for our webinar is who are responsible for maintaining of the active who are responsible for the maintaining of the master data. So now let's see what is the consolidation of active records. So let's take a scenario. Now let's see if we have an organization with a large amount of master data, and in our day-to-day process there are lots of new records are getting created. So we lots of master data, lots of records are created in our master data, and during the course of the data creation there is a possibility of duplicate record getting created in the master data. So the reason for duplicate record creations can be anything like incorrect data maintenance or the validations which are not very strict, or there can be any other reasons. But in the end, what we get is there are some duplicate records in our master data, so which can result in inconsistent data, so which is not good for any organization. So SAP provides us this feature, that master data consolidation of active records, where we can consolidate our active records. And so in the course of the consolidation process, then we can cleanse our active records. We can remove the duplicates of records. So the deduplication of the master records is done during the regular cleanup activities. We can schedule regular cleanup activities and check what are the duplicate records exist in our master data. So let's see what is the value proposition of this process. What we get is the superior master data. What we get is the further improvement in the best records. So the best record creation, I will explain you in the next slides. So what is the best record creations and how you can remove the duplicates, that I will tell you later on. So here we get a superior master data, then duplicate records are getting removed. So now let's look into the process flow for the consolidation of active records. When you start the consolidation process, during the consolidation process, we have various steps for the process flow. So the various steps are like selection, matching, best record calculation, validation, activation. In the next slides, we will see each and every step in detail. Let's see, just I will now tell you the brief overview of what are these steps. Selection step. In the selection step, you select the master data object for which you want to create duplicate records. Matching step. In the matching step, we get matching results based on our matching configuration. Best record calculation steps. So from the matching groups, we get the best record. Validation step. In this step, we validate all our records as per the validation rules. And the last step is the activation step, where you activate your data. So whatever the data you have selected and is processed in this process, then finally gets activated. So let's see what are the strategies for the consolidation process. SAP provides following strategies in which you can consolidate your active records. The strategies are improve best records, improve all records, or remove duplicates. Like in case of improve best record, so whatever the best record, the system calculates that best record is improved upon, and then the relationships are created for the best record and the duplicate records. In case of improve all records, in this case also, all the records which can be improved upon are selected. And in this step also, the relationships are created between the best records and the duplicate records. And the last is remove duplicates. In case of remove duplicates, we can set the archiving flag for the duplicate records. And then the key mapping is updated after the activation step. For today's webinar, we will focus on improvement of your best records. So we will see the process consolidate improve best record in detail. So let's see how the best record improve best records is processed. So the best record is calculated based on the match groups. All the data is merged in the best record. So the business partner, which is not the part of best record, is in the part of the match group, then that business partner is replaced by the best record and the key mapping is updated. We can set the blocking flag for the records which are not the part of the best record. This is an optional step. Now let's see each and every step of the consolidation process in detail. So the first step is the selection step. In the selection step, we select the active records for which duplicate records are to be found. So there are various filter criteria which are available for our selection. So you can select records like, for example, if you know the business partners, you can give the range of business partners, say 1 to 1000, or let's like that. Or you can also specify the name of the organization, or you can also select the only few records based on the filter criteria. If you don't select any selection criteria, then the process will continue for all the records which are available in the database. So let's see what is now the matching step. In the matching step, all the duplicate records, all the records are clubbed together in one match group. So, but let's see before that how the matching is configured. So SAP provides HANA fuzzy matching, where the matching is done based on the fields, based on the rules, where we can specify fuzziness, we can specify the weight. For example, in the screenshot, you can see like there are various address parameters which are provided like city, country, region, postcode, street, birth date like that. And the birth date is the personal record. And then we have the approval score of 98%. So we can configure all the fields, we can configure the approval score based on our requirements. So let's say, for example, if you have the street, if you give the complete spelling of the street, STREET, or let's say if in another record you have the record which has the street spelling of STR, then in this case, for the fuzzy matching, it will then consider these record group. It will club these records in one match group. So let's continue with the matching process. So the matching process is done whatever the rules we are defining in the backend. The potential duplicates are clubbed together in a match group, and based on the matching rule, what we get, we can then approve the match group or we can reject the match group. And based on the match group, the best record is calculated. For the best record, we will see in the next slides. But let's focus on the how this matching takes place. So here I have an example where we have two business partners, like business partner number 1, 2, 3, 4 and business partner 1, 2, 3, 5. If you notice, these records are identical record, but there are few differences in the record. Like the last name, the spelling for the last name is little different. For address, if you see the address for the first record, it is Strasse 1, and for the next record, it is only STR is given. So based on our matching rule, the system identifies these records as a duplicate records, and these two records are clubbed together in one match group. And then from this match group, we get the best record. So whichever the score which is the highest is selected as a best record. And here we have the options, either we want to approve this match group or we can split the match group. So the option is available provided by SAP. So now let's see how the best record is calculated. Best record calculation is done based upon the completeness, recency, and the source system. So all the configuration we can do in the backend, where we can specify again that all the tables, all the fields, or let's say we have multiple source system, then we can specify which source system takes precedence or which source system has a priority. So then the records will be clubbed together based upon the configuration, based upon the source system, based upon the fields and the table. So like here in the case, so whichever record is complete, whichever record is recently created, complete and maintained as a priority, that record is calculated as a best record. So let's go back to the example. So here, if you see, there's in this example, we have the address data completely maintained for our business partner number 1234, where it's first name, last name, city, postcode, street, house number, everything is filled for the first record, and the address spelling is also complete. So then, based upon the completeness, so SAP calculates this record, business partner number 1234, as an best record. And then the another business partner, which is the 1235, is selected as an is selected as a match, as a potential duplicate record for this record. So this is how the best record is calculated. Yeah. So then we have the option that the best record is calculated in this way. So one after the best record calculation, then we have the case of how we are going to improve the best record. So let's take an example where we have business partner number 1234 and 1235. So here in this example, the best record as we seen is calculated as 1234. So during the course of the consolidation process, so we can set this record as a we can set this record as this record, and in the consolidation process this best record is further improved upon. So let's consider an example where the first record has one of the field which is missing, and the next record has that field. So in case of improved best record process, the business partner 1234 will be enriched with the data which is missing from which is missing from its record. So let's see if there is one field which is missing, which is not filled for the best record and which is filled for another record. Then during the process, business partner 1234 will take over the data from the business partner 1235. And when we activate the data, then in the activation, business partner number 1234 will be activated, and for the business partner number 1235, the key mapping will be updated. So the business partner, so like in this we have seen the best record is improved upon, and when after the replication is happening is taken place in the source system, in the target system, there the key mappings are updated. So if the business partner number 1234 is replicated as an record number 100, and business partner number 1235 is replicated as business partner number, let's say 200, then after the activation, business partner, the key mapping will be updated, and business partner 1234 will be used further. And then after the activation, after the key mapping is updated in the target system, business partner number 100 will be selected and used further. So in this way, we improve upon the best record. So after the best record calculation, it is the validation step. So in the validation step, all the validations which are done in the backend customizing are all considered. So whatever the central governance validations, what are the validations we define in the BRF plus or we define in the bodies, all the validations are considered. And then the whatever the result we get after the best record calculation is further validated as per the validations. And after the validation step, then we have the activation step. So the SAP provides various options for the activation step. So where we have an option for a direct activation, or we have an option for activation with a change request, or we can just update the duplicate records are processed. So if we specify activation with a change request, then after the activation process, a change request is triggered, and then you can see the change request in your central governance system. And if you have a workflow set up, then you can further approve the change request. In case of direct activation, there is no change request created and the records are directly activated. So here we have this. So once this record are activated, then after the activation, the key mappings are updated, and you can further use the business partner. So in this, so I hope in this slide the consolidation process is clear to you. So we have seen how the process of consolidation of active record takes place. So we have seen all the steps and how you can improve your best record. So I hope this process what I have presented is clear to you. So if you have any question and answers, I'll be happy to take your questions. Uh, yeah, we have our first question. So the question is, what happens to the records once they are consolidated? So as I said earlier, when we saw in the matching step, the records are clubbed together in one match group, and then we got one best record, which was created, and then the best record was improved upon. So after the activation, once this once you are once you have replicated the business partner into the target system, then you can further improve upon for you can further use that business partner. And if you have the option where you have say you can set the blocking flag, then the other business partners which are part of that match group, the blocking flag is set for the other records, and then further you can only use the best record. So going forward, like here in this example, I'll just go back to the slide. Yeah, so if we have this business partner 1234, which is activated as a best record, and then we have the option provided where we can set the blocking flag. Then the blocking flag will be set for business partner 1235, and going forward, you will use the business partner 1234 in your process. Yeah. So do you have any question? Another question? Yeah. So the second question is, can we use our customized validations? Yeah. So as I said, whatever the validations are provided was a standard SAP validations which are available by default. If we have some custom validations, then the custom validations are done in the BRF Plus, and all the if the bodies are also available where we can provide the custom validations. Okay, so the next question we have, if we have a match between two business partners, what about the historical data like financial transaction, related contracts, and so in? Will such data be also transferred to the new record? Well, in this case, the key mappings are updated. So the key in the key mapping is once the key mapping is updated, then you have relation between the best record, like in the example which we seen 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have the relation between the 1, 2, 3, 5. So there you will get the link between your best record and the duplicate records. So I think there you can see the data and the financial transaction which are also linked to the duplicate records. Okay, so we have the next question, like, do you use location data to verify address for the validation? For the validation right now, the as per the configuration, we specify in the configuration, but I think SAP also provides Google Maps API also where we can identify the validation, where we can identify verify the address. So do we have any further questions? Okay, so we don't have any further questions. So I would like to thank you all for participating in this webinar, and I hope what are the webinar I have presented, the process is clear to you. Thank you once again.